So I just finished my first week as a caregiver working at an assisted living facility. So helping people with Alzheimer's and dementia, a mix of aggressive and well-behaved residents. I'm just gonna tell you a bit about how it is if you're trying to become one. So it's not that bad. The only con would be that you're working pretty much all day, every day. In my schedule, I do get to rest 1 day per week, but it works out pretty well for my position because I am saving for a trade program, which is phlebotomy. And so, might as well just work all day rather than do nothing and spend my energy on nothing. So it works out pretty well. Um, so how did I get this job? I just used ChatGPT to search up caregiving locations in my area, like assisted living facilities, daycare facilities. I called the number and I asked if they have an immediate opening regarding caregivers because I'm looking for a job. And then the administrator, which is now my boss, he asked if I have experience. I said yes. He asked night shift, and I said yes because that would work better with my schedule because I'm a pre-nursing student right now. I'm taking prerequisites for the ADN program for registered nursing. And then scheduled me for an on-site interview. I got interviewed by the supervisor, not the administrator that I called on the phone. I got interviewed by the supervisor because the administrator was busy. But I told him about my experience, and I was caregiving in the past, but not like this. Not with people with Alzheimer's or dementia. More like with people who have special needs, behavioral issues, and disabilities. And then they told me that this job, as a caregiver for dementia people, it's a little bit different. Sometimes they forget who you are. You try to bond with them, and they forget who you are. They get aggressive, and after that, they gave me the required documentations for me to complete, like the TB test and the live scan for Department of Justice and FBI. I think Department of Justice, that's the acronym for DOJ. I could be wrong. So they gave me the TB test and DOJ and FBI live scan. It took me about 2 weeks to complete, the TB test and the live scan. I was trying to find locations where it's cheaper, but luckily the TB test was about $15 for the Santa Ana College. That's the school I'm taking the pre-nursing from. And then the DOJ and FBI it was like $75. I got a $3 discount for leaving a review on Google Maps for their location. And then they told me to come in on Wednesday after I told the administrator that I've done every single documentation they needed me to complete. They said, come in Wednesday at 10 a.m. for your training. And then, my first day, they told me to pretty much just watch and learn. And they made me observe how they do stuff routinely. And by the way, I'm looking here because this is my laptop here. I have my notes here to make this video more streamlined. But my first day, they told me watch and learn, observe. If you have any questions, ask them. And my first day, they pretty much just showed me the reality of things, like how they actually do stuff rather than sugarcoating things. And that's great because at the end of the day, it's a job. We gotta do things realistically. And I learned a lot from that first day. And there are some similarities from the caregiving jobs I worked in the past with special needs people, but this time it's a little bit different. They are aggressive. They're older, so they're more delicate. So my first day, I came in at 10 a.m. My second day, I came in at 6 a.m. My third day, I was a little bit late. I slept in. It was supposed to be 6 a.m., but I came in at 10 a.m. They were nice enough, and they even offered me to eat breakfast, and it didn't count toward my break. And they just wanted to make sure I have energy for the job. It's lifting people, dealing with people who, call you names. It takes energy physically and mentally. And third day, I was a little bit more hands-on with lifting patients. You grab them by the under their armpit, under their shoulder, like that, and then you grab them behind, using their pants to lift them, and then do that. I think the hardest part is if you're doing the lifting. There's gonna be two people, you and another person. The hardest part is if you're in a position where you have to rotate more than the other coworker, because it takes like a rotation, muscle rotation. And if you're not good at that, you're gonna struggle a lot. But luckily, we're humans and we adapt. And it's like you don't even have to work out if you're in this job. But obviously, it's gonna help a lot if you work out. And then, they train me during the day, even though my shifts are supposed to be at night. And their reason for that is that so I can understand the residents' personalities better and know what they like and dislike, as well as what they're like, like whether or not this resident is aggressive and you have to watch out, or this resident is well behaved and you can be a little bit more compassionate rather than, more trying to protect yourself from them. I'm coming into my night shift tonight at 6 p.m. It's gonna be my first night shift at 6 p.m. So I don't know what to expect, and I'll be asking a lot of questions to make sure that I can do the job well with or without supervision. If you consider becoming one because you want to get into nursing down the line, I do recommend becoming a caregiver, whether it's for people with special needs, or people with dementia. Just make sure that you are actually turning yourself into the kind of person that can handle the job. What I mean by that is this job requires a lot of physical and mental energy, and it's going to take a lot from you. And so just remember that you're taking care of people, and these people are not just things. They have emotions too, even though they might not show it. Sometimes it may seem like they're doing things personally, and then sometimes they act more behaved. This is because it's either their behavior if they have special needs, or it's because of dementia if they're if they have dementia. Um, just watch videos on how to redirect behavior, how to handle people with dementia, how to handle people with disabilities, and try to understand that you are blessed for not being in their position. We are here to help them, and that's their job. We are blessed to help these people transition into their next phase of life, whether that is the afterlife or whether that is growing into a adult if they have special needs. And if you're able to become the person that actually cares about these people and do the job for them compassionately, you're not going to have such a difficult time because your personality will match that. And I believe that any of us, can become that person because we're human. And if you put yourself into their shoes, you're going to find that you would want to be treated a certain way if you were in that position. So, yeah, be kind. I think you should be a caregiver if you're just starting out in the healthcare industry and you want to become a nurse someday because it's a great experience. And yeah, talk soon.